Roz here.
Aloha and welcome to Wisdom Dialogues with Hope Johnson, coming to you from Hawaiian beaches on the beautiful Big Island of Hawaii. And Lori Tibitot is my panelist today. Say hi, Lori, so they could see you.
Hi, everybody. Am I too dark?
You're fine to me. I like
Okay.
dark.
Okay, good. Whew. Yeah. So should I talk? Hey, Raz. Um, he says, "Bring me in." Shadows, welcome. Um, my Raz knows what's been going on with me because I started a group with him.
Uh-huh.
Oh boy. In the beginning of the group, I was myself and everything, but as things started leaving in this house and fear of losing this house and not having the safety of it anymore, which I didn't even know was something, uh, there was fear like I've never felt in my whole, never felt that kind of fear. So much fear that my stomach was tight and it would bring my legs in and the tense and
Hmm.
doom. It was just doom. Until talking to you today, it was the grips of that. Everywhere I looked, sprung another thought of lack and fear and a future. Oh, it was everywhere.
It's
Wow.
heavy, huh?
It was
It's a,
really heavy till you reminded me that's not who I am.
well, thank you for being remindable.
Oh, the gratitude, Hope. My,
Oh.
ay, ay, ay. It just day after day was worse and worse and worse. And wow, I just had,
Well, just so you know, you can call me sooner.
okay.
Yeah,
Oh, oh.
only remindable people end up calling me anyways, and it's such a pleasure.
Oh, that's so sweet. Oh my God. I apparently I was supposed to go through all that.
Of course.
Yes, kick me in the ass, bring me off that pedestal, which is
Yes.
good, really good. I see that I needed to be knocked down a peg or two.
Well, that's not you getting knocked down, you know. Even that idea is the ego's idea of sacrifice, as if you have something to sacrifice. See?
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it just feels good to be back to center.
I know what you mean. You're connected to yourself.
Yes.
Yeah. When
Oh,
you see the thing is, it's like the divine doesn't know your guilty illusions that you're making in the world.
right, right.
So when you trust in those, when you're trusting in the illusions that you made, you cannot also be receiving the information about who you are from the divine, because you're making a different choice. You know, to trust in those illusions is to make a different choice. It's like to deny the divine that's letting you know that everything's okay, because nothing's happening. Though not everything's okay because it's working out for you on the surface, but everything's okay because it's coming together exactly how you need it to come together to see what you need to see, and it's all a blessing.
Yes. And
See?
there was that was not in the forefront. Did not feel like a blessing.
Yes, yes, and you know that's one of the most that's one of the most beautiful and rewarding things we can have here is the ability to share the truth.
Yeah.
share it, to extend it. It's like, hey, here's what it really is, and no one's in any trouble here. You're not in any trouble. You're not in any danger. See?
God, I can't tell you how relieved, how this body, I actually ate tonight. Not a lot, but I had an appetite. I mean, a little bit of appetite. It wasn't, I literally have not been eating. I've been drinking a lot of water or a protein shake, but the thought of food was, bleh, I just couldn't do it.
Yeah.
Whew, for days.
Uh-huh. So like we talked about earlier, that's excitement. That's a symbol of excitement.
Right, right.
You're identifying it as fear
Yeah.
because you're resisting against it. You're resisting against that. It's actually excitement because it's opportunity for you to express and extend more love.
Mm.
And these experiences where they seem really intense too, there's all this fear. It's like when it's released, there's all this relief.
Oh, unbelievable, the relief.
Yeah.
I I was even thinking this morning, the thought was, oh my God, I can see why people, when they say they're depressed or in a deep, I could see why what they would say. They want, give me the medicine. I want this to stop. Give me some medicine. Give me some anti-depression, whatever. Just
Right.
this will stop. I never understood that before. Wow, I have so much more compassion for the people who, wow,
Yes.
yes.
You get real clear on number one, what people are going through
Yeah.
because of their own projections, but that doesn't change the fact that everyone's completely innocent and everyone is completely worthy of love and compassion all the time. In recognizing that it is their own projection, that's what makes it open for the miracle of healing, because since it's their own projection, that's awesome because they can let go of it at any time. And you could say they can make a choice for the truth at any time. And that allows it to be released from them.
So,
If you're just a little bit more. so if you're in that thing and you don't think you have a choice because you don't realize that it's projected by you, you don't realize that you actually are making it up. If you don't realize that, you become a victim of it. And then then it's like you can't get out of it. You're just looking for the next good news to give you a good mood that's totally temporary.
exactly. But nothing, there was nothing, it was projecting everything negative. Everywhere I looked, it turned the simplest thing into another horrible thing. What?
Yeah.
Wow.
That's one thing to notice, when you're going down the ego rabbit hole,
Yeah.
you'll start to see that not only one thing is screwed up, but all the different things start to get screwed up. You'll notice you go to a restaurant, you get shitty service, and then you're in the car and people can't drive, or, you just, all these different things will seem like they're going wrong at the same time. And let that be like a red flag to you that you are going down the ego rabbit hole. You can ask for help. In Lori's case, she basically opened up herself to this being her own projection enough to reach out to me, and we had a telephone conversation.
Mm.
And by the way, you guys, I don't charge, by the way.
Mm.
I don't know how long it's going to take you to recognize it, but it doesn't take that long. Lori takes longer than anyone, actually. She likes to write a bunch of stuff down, and she's like before she goes, oh. But normally it only takes you guys like 5 or 10 minutes.
Yeah, it's been a
Lori's
week.
wasn't long. Hers was not long. It was only like a half an hour. That's not for getting complete relief. For getting that complete relief like that, half hour, that's nothing. That's really nothing. You know,
It
you can
really,
get on, you can get on, you of course, you know, you can find yourself doing it however you need. So no, there's no way right or wrong. If you find yourself going on with it for a long time, a couple days or whatever, that's just so that you can get more of that experience. See, like Lori talked about how she got the experience before. She was probably like, I don't know how people could just want to like take drugs or something and let their, you know, to get over their fear, just like get some pharmaceutical drugs like Xanax or something, just to like mellow you out, you know. I don't understand that. And then she got the understanding of it, and you know, that always equals more forgiveness too. And, you know, when you get that fearful and you get in such a fearful mode like that, like, you know, I've mentioned many times here, is that when you get the relief, it's such a relief. It's so much love. It's like, you know, and it's just natural. It's it's what you're deserving of. But it's like you had yourself so in this mode of self-attack, basically, that once you stop beating yourself, it's like, I was never even beat. You know, it's like you think you're going to have consequences from that, but you're not. Here's the thing. Here's the thing. You have the option to return at any time. So it doesn't matter how far you've gone as far as, you know, ego thinking. It doesn't matter how far you've gone. If you are willing to recognize that it's healing and it has no effect, completely forgiven, then you're right. No effect. Completely forgiven. Okay? Now
it,
that brings me to something. Oh, go ahead, Lori. I'll go to that after.
you go ahead. Go ahead.
All right. Now that brings me to something. I have a really good, this is for you, Gabriella. This is a really fun one. I love it. Thank you. If you want to come on or you want to talk, let me know. My experience has been that you prefer to chat, so feel free to do that all you want. I love you. Thank you. So this is commonly misunderstood. It's really, oh, it's amazing how this went down. I copied this comment from Gabriella here. And we were just talking about how it has no effect, okay? Thinking has no effect. Neither do illusions have effects on other illusion. But thinking it does makes it so in your experience. That makes it so in your experience, okay? That's how it works. That's how it works. That's how the illusion works. And let me just say before I begin, I give no advice on what you should or should not do, what you should or should not say, because it's irrelevant, because you don't actually have a choice in that. You do not actually have a choice in that. However, your actions are symbolic of your thinking. They're always symbolic of your thinking, okay? They're a symbol. So that can show me where you're going in thought. And this is super fun. This is super fun. If you get the perception of having put someone in danger, if you get the perception of that, then that's because you believe that your thoughts have effects in the illusion. You also believe that illusions affect other illusions. And you want to defy that. You want to defy that. That's not how it works. You can't defy it. You cannot defy it. And you can't defy the all-powerful mind who is making it seem like illusions affect other illusions because you want it to. Because you want it to. And you know how you know? You know by the reactions. You know by the reactions. If you're not in touch with the reactions that are rising in your own body, you're going to, well, you know, none of us are. Let me just say, I'm not fully in touch with that. That's why I need your reflection. I need your reflection. See? And that's how it is. You know, people say we're interdependent. Yes, we're interdependent in that we need each other's reflections. That's very different, though, than I need to have you next to me or I need to be around people or anything like that, because that's just the way it goes. That's how it's arising. So, you know, let's observe. Let's observe these self-reflections. Let's just observe these self-reflections. Yes, mirror, mirror. Now I'm going to read this question from Gabrielle. I keep on getting confused because she has her mom's name in there. I'll just take her mom's name out of there. I'm like, wait a minute. No, I'm not talking to her. Okay. A few days ago, my 4-year-old was playing with some Orbeez. They are tiny, absorbent beads that grow into squishy, bouncy balls when soaked in water. Okay, so I looked these things up online. They're these little tiny things, in case you guys don't know. I had no idea. That's why I looked it up. Little tiny things like that. And you put water in them, and they get like this big. They get like this big. So that's fun. All right, this sounds really fun, actually. I have found myself telling my son, hey, guess what? I'm learning that there is no such thing as good and bad food, and nothing outside of you has an effect on the body. Great, great. Brilliant product. Oh, fun. You like it, Josh. That's so cool.
The kids
Okay.
love it.
Oh, that's so awesome. I hadn't even heard of them. Apparently, Braun had heard of them because I was reading this morning with my son, Braun, behind me. And we were reading that together, and we're both laughing. And Braun goes, oh, I know what those are. They do this. I was like, oh, I guess he never wanted any because he never asked me for any. I have found myself telling my son, hey, guess what? I'm learning that there is no such thing as good or bad food, and nothing outside of you has an effect on the body. Yay. So he says, oh, does that mean that I can eat an Orby? Did you see this one, Lori?
Yeah. Well, she told me about it.
Oh, yeah, I saw you on it. Does that mean I can eat an Orby? So here's the thing. Let's look at this for a moment now. When you do not need to teach your kid anything. Oh, let me say that. You do not need to teach your kid anything. Well, you can't. That's why. Okay. You can, let me say, you do not need to pretend like you can teach your kid something and try to teach them something. You can't. That's just not the, you know, all of the things that are coming out of your mouth, all of the things you were saying, all of the things you were doing, they are an effect of your thinking. And all of the things that you seem to be doing, everything that you seem to be coming out of your mouth is teaching your own mind. Teaching your own mind. So if you understand that, when he says, oh, does that mean I can eat an Orby? It's like, and then she goes, sure. And then she goes, sure. And then after that, her boyfriend jumps in. What are you thinking? Why the fuck would you tell him to eat those? He is going to get sick. Okay, so it's not a matter of whether or not, see, I said sure. Now, let's take a look at this, Gabby. When it's not in the words, okay? It's totally true. What you said is completely true. It's totally true. And let me just reiterate this. You did nothing wrong because you didn't do anything. This is an effective thinking. This is an effective thinking. Nothing has gone wrong. Nothing has certainly gone wrong. Now let's point out how the ego tempts you, into making conflict. Okay? You can see how the ego tempts you into making conflict. Does that mean that I can eat an Orby? When he says that to you, and he asks you that question, did you get the feeling reaction in your body? I promise you, I promise you, based on what I see right here, there was a feeling reaction, a fearful feeling reaction arise in your body. And instead of taking care of the fearful reaction, remember as I'm saying this, you didn't have a choice in this. You've done nothing wrong. I'm showing the temptations of the ego. Instead of taking care of a fearful reaction, you spoke. It doesn't matter what the words are. The words, no, nothing we say is true. Let's say that. Nothing we say is true. Conceptually, okay, the words were correct, okay. But here's the thing. Nothing we say is true. We are communicating through energy. So when you said sure, and it's not in the word sure, in a different circumstance, that could be a sure that's an extension of love. See, that's an extension of love. This sure was a projection. How do you know? Your boyfriend. Thank you, boyfriend. We love you.
Jason was like, what? If you could, I want to see you drink bleach then.
No kidding. Yeah. Of course. And that's because it was, see, here's the thing. It's like, and I love this. I love this enthusiasm. I see the enthusiasm coming out here for the truth. And I love that. It's beautiful. The ego will take on any kind of concept, any kind of spiritual concept, and use it to make conflict. You see that? You see how it just gets used to make conflict? So when you're speaking about a concept, in fact, let me just put this out to you. It's not saying that you should or should not do anything. Let me just put this out for you for food for thought. In Buddhism, they talk about how when the knowledge is new to you, when the concept is new to you, it needs to be protected, like like a little baby plant, It can't really withstand all the bugs and fungus and all that stuff yet. It just kind of needs to be protected. So, the world that you've made up, the world that is the manifest world now, is full of ego because of the way it's been made up. So it's kind of like full of bugs and stuff that will infest it. This is not saying that anyone is a bug. I see your hands. Thank you. I'll be with you. If you would like to write to me in the comments about what you would like to raise your hand about, that would be super helpful. I could put you into the place that would be awesome. Okay. So it's like this concept, this little baby concept now that has not been nurtured, has not grown into a big, strong tree yet. It needs to be nurtured. It needs to be loved up. Okay. It needs to be loved up and nurtured. So it's kind of like throwing it out to the dogs when you find yourself with the illusion the illusory world that you've made based on a denial of who you are, right? Remember I said the world is like a reflection of an untrue thought. It's a reflection of self-belief, okay? So when it goes out like that, when you the ego will tempt you, oh yeah, just like go ahead and sing all about it to everyone, like people close to your family and stuff who have been conditioned, in the same way that your mind has been conditioned. They're basically going to be reflecting your own mind because you guys are not separate, right? So it's kind of like throwing it out and kind of like testing it to the ego. Well, what do you think about this? And then it's like, well, what about this and this? And oh my God, that's so, I could feel that. And reading this, it's like, whoa, that made it really big. And it serves to make the Orbeez more real and your son's body more real. You see what I mean? So there's no reason to test these things like that. And here's where a lot of where I say, it can be applied really, really simply for people, because there's not going to be as much fear because they can see this, It's like where a kid goes, hey mom, can I have some M&Ms or something like that? And you watch the fear thought arise in your mind about sugar and all these different things about the M&Ms and stuff like that. And you let that just be seen. You let that just be seen and loved up, okay? And then it's not really about what decision is made to say yes or no, because you actually don't have a choice in that. There's no choice in it. You know, you just take care of the fear. You'll know if you're taking care of the fear by your reaction and the reactions of your mirrors, of your mirror reflections, and especially those that are close to you. If you're saying something that seems to be scaring the shit out of your husband, that is your reflection. That means that you've been thinking in terms of wanting to defy the ego. That's way different than looking at it clearly and recognizing what it is and that it's not really having any power over you. When you fully recognize that it doesn't have any power over you, that will be your perception. Okay? Okay. I'll get to you guys. Thank you. I appreciate you. Okay. So my boyfriend jumps in, and yes, of course, that goes without saying. Really. I go on to say, just because you have that programming doesn't mean you have to pass it down to our children. And this is after the boyfriend is already really triggered, obviously. Okay. So what you're saying, it doesn't really matter. The words don't really matter. It's an energy. It's a communication energy. Let me tell you something. If you're communicating love, no one's going to eat any Orbeez. No one's going to eat any Orbeez. That's the thing. If you're communicating, no one's going to be eating any Orbeez, period. The body is completely protected, okay? And if they did eat Orbeez, maybe they'd take a giant thing like that. What I'm saying is the body is completely protected, okay? All right, so then he said, of course, this is how this kind of dance will play out. It's an ego dance. It's not like someone's ego. It's not like your boyfriend has the ego or you have the ego. It's just that it's a thing where you follow the lead of these ego thoughts. You go down the ego rabbit hole into conflict. He then goes on to grab my face and act as if he's going to force me to drink Clorox. I yelled, and of course, see how it escalates. And it all started from this idea, it's like when you're talking to your son, I would say that when you're talking to your son, you're looking for your concept to be validated outside of yourself. And look, if you are just hearing and you're not clear that that food and other things has no effect on the body, you're going to go around trying to convince people who don't want to be convinced, or saying it in front of people who don't want to be convinced, and you're going to be making all this conflict for yourself. You're going to be making all this conflict for yourself. There's no need for that. So I yelled, "Stop it." I tell my sister, who's 26, the story, and she said, "What if he could have died?" There's another reflection. And then here's another part of it where it really goes askew, and I could tell by the energy of it. But it's by the energy of it because it's within a trigger. It's within a triggered reaction. And I said, then he was supposed to. It all happens perfectly. I'm not in control of this. See, so it's like where this talk is coming from. It's not coming from an extension of love, because here's why. And let me show you how you can see this, how you can start to see the temptations of the ego. Okay. Again, I just want to reiterate, you've done nothing wrong because you're not capable of doing anything. This kind of talking comes from following ego temptations. Okay, so when someone is reflecting to you that they're fearful, okay, it's good that I said you're fearful. Someone's reflecting to you that they're fearful. That is a reflection of your fear. You do not have to, and this is totally in your mind, you do not have to change their mind. And now it's time to take care of the fear. It's not time to try to feed them spiritual concepts that may lead them to become more fearful. Do you see what I'm saying there? Let me know if you're getting this, Gabby. I have some questions. Oh, want to talk about believing that the Orbi or food will not hurt you is what makes it so. Okay, good. I would like to talk about that. And then Roz says, oh, someone said I'm going to leave in 10 minutes. Oh, Roz, I love you. Oh, okay, let's see what it says here. I love you, Roz. You're awesome. So do you still have time? Let's see. It's 3:24. Oh, he's pretty much gone. Oh, no particular topic or urgent need. Oh, I love you. Thank you. I appreciate that. Okay, Stacy, you are coming on, my love. Would you like, I'll ask you in person. Aloha.
Aloha.
Oh, thank you for joining, Stacy.
Hi. Yes. Thank you for having me. Thank you for doing this. Is there any way, can I see myself or is my picture
would you
shown?
like to be on, would you like to be on video? Would you
Sure,
like to be
yeah.
on camera? Okay, cool.
Sure.
How fun. She's joining. Here she comes. She's popping up.
Oh, that's what I was looking for. I wanted this view so I could see people. Hi, Lori. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Good. I have tuned into a couple of the recorded casts that I've seen from you guys because I was sent by Christine Van Coffet. You know, Christine? Oh, okay.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, she said I needed more help and I needed to.
Oh, that's so fun.
Once a month. She goes, go see Hope. She's my girl. So I finally made it on live so I could talk to you because I have so many questions, but it's, I know it's hard to get to them all. But the first thing is, so because after one of the ones I listened to, you said about the food and not worrying about it because obviously I'm into health and I have a health website and stuff like that, but I'm now learning more about spirituality and quantum physics and what I call quantum healing. So it doesn't scare people to say energy healing. And I understand that I'm starting to understand, I don't know if you agree exactly, because I follow like Dr. Sue Morter and Dr. Braden or Greg Braden and all these, quantum physics guys that have started to merge quantum physics and healing and show like energy healing happening live from like the Medicineless Hospital in Beijing, China. So I'm really into all that stuff and I really love that and I think it's awesome. So I feel like my whole website that I worked on, everything is like a big mess now because I tell people all this advice about eating gluten-free or lectin-free. I follow the plant paradox. I make videos about what to eat on the plant paradox. You can find easy, healthy recipes, And now I'm like, well, it doesn't really matter. Is it almost like Dr. Braden or somebody or one of the guys was talking about like the certain Baptist groups that are in church and they have the poisonous snakes or they drink strychnine because they believe God will protect them so it doesn't harm them. But the guy who I was talking about it, oh shoot, I can't remember his name. Anyway, he said that he wouldn't drink strychnine because his belief is not as strong as theirs. So could the kid eat the Orbi and be fine if he really believed it would not hurt him?
Oh yeah, and that's not even the relevant part of it. Of course, her saying sure, the word sure, that was not right or wrong. It wasn't that. You can tell what it was by the reaction.
So if she didn't have the fear, if she was just like, yes, I believe that you eat that, you will not be harmed, then he would also be a reflection of her belief and he could eat it and be unharmed.
It's totally not in the words. It's totally not in the words. It's in the energy. And you know what? The reflection shows you what you really believe. Isn't that fun?
Yes. Okay. So your reflection of the reaction of the other person is showing you what your belief is.
Oh yeah.
I mean, yeah, I'm starting to see that too, because when I'm, arguing with my husband or something, or I feel like there's an argument coming on, he will say things to me that I was already thinking about myself, like, oh, you're on the computer too much, or you're doing this too much and you're not with me enough or whatever. Or, whatever it is that I'm concerned about, oh, the money or the finances or something like that. And he says something to me and it's because I already thought it was already in my energy. So is there a better way to communicate than words? Like, could you communicate with energy, and how do you know when your third eye is open and when you're able to kind of connect more with energy, because you got to like undo the programming and stuff?
Okay, that's great question. You're always communicating with your energy. Always. The words
Yeah.
are completely meaningless. The words coming out of my mouth, completely meaningless and stupid. Okay,
They sound really good.
well, you know, it's what's being communicated is always, and look, all that can be communicated is love. All that can be communicated is love. Other than that, it's projection. It's projection. So it's making more illusions. How do you know if it's projection and not love? It's coming from a place of fear. Now, most people are not tuned in to how their energy is being used. Those people are not tuned in to how their energy is being used, and not realizing what's going on there. That's why I always say, get the feeling effect. Get that feeling. When you feel it, when you feel where your energy is coming, all you have to do is watch. Let yourself be natural and watch. That's why I keep on telling Gabby, you have not done anything wrong. That is perfect how that played out. It's absolutely perfect. Perfect. You're not capable of doing anything. Again, you're not capable of doing anything, and that's why it can't be wrong. It's reflecting to you the balance of your thinking. Reflecting to you the balance of your thought all the time. It's showing you. Hey, baby. And this is my Brian. This is my sweetie.
He got a haircut.
He did.
Buddy.
He did. So awesome. So the reflection is always showing you the balance of your thinking. So it's always, you come back to watching. So as the words come out of my mouth, even right now, there's a watchfulness in how they're being held before they come out, before it comes out. It's the energy of it, how I feel in my body's energy field, not so much physically, but there's a fluctuation of energy going on. And when there's fear, there's contraction. And there's especially contraction around the solar plexus area. You can play with this a little bit with physical pain. You can play with it with physical pain. Like if you have any physical pain in your, everyone comes up with some physical pain. That's why that's a good one. I'm not saying that you need to hurt yourself or something. It's funny the way these things are taken sometimes.
Yeah.
but watch how when you're clenched up, especially if anyone wants to know where the solar plexus is, by the way, it's kind of between the navel and the breastbone. That's where the solar plexus is. There's a lot of nerves there. There's I heard 72,000 nerves, okay, in the physical. That's symbolic of this being an energy center for the body. So it's kind of like, you can say it's projecting, the energetic field may be projecting from there, let's just say. Nothing that I say is true again. So anyway, so don't get hung up on that is what I mean, okay? So anyways, there's this sense of an openness and a receiving divine information, and then there's a closed off sense. So, there's a closed off sense, and I would promise to Gabby when she was having the experience where the sun is going, that's really her asking, then that means I can eat Orbeez then, right? There wasn't an awareness of what's going on there because, the ego's just like, ho, 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 ho. Sure. It's like, yes. But, see, you don't have to go along with there even being anything wrong with that. You're just watching watch also when you relay some information. Here's the thing, even when I type on Facebook and I'm typing something on Facebook, I'm feeling it. It's not about getting the concept right for me. That's awesome too, but I know I can be completely careless about that. I can be completely careless about that because all of my attention is going to my connection with source. A connection with source. So it's going to, where's the, you know, it's like your only function in here, in this dream, is to allow the blocks to love to be removed. So it's like being aware of the fear. Do I have a sense that I need to teach someone something? If I have a sense that I need to teach someone something, I'm going to get that feeling effect for myself. I'm going to get that feeling effect for myself first before anything is laid out. That way, it's my energy is clear of that. My energy is purified of that kind of energy. Any kind of energy. Is someone lacking? Does someone need something? You know, and it's true. You know, it's, you don't need anything. You don't need anything, Stacy. You don't need me. You do not need me. You are projecting. You are projecting me. You're projecting
Well,
me.
that's the thing. If I'm projecting you, does that mean you don't really exist except in my projection? Is it like a matrix thing, or is it like your energy is coming together to make this matter and you seem solid, but we really know that your energy and your waves are just condensed? I mean, I think, but I don't know. You said nothing's true. So, and I don't need you, but I feel like I've come on this big journey and I'm learning all this stuff. And how do you learn without reading books? And most successful people that I know read books and learn, and, you know, are constant teachers and learners. I feel like everyone's a teacher and everyone's a student. So, and I am literally a physical teacher in a school, which is really horribly hard for me because of teaching the programming, realizing that I love teaching US history and persuasive writing that goes along with it. But the, you know, crux of course, US history is the wars and the killing and the violence instead of the peace, which I kind of like, oh, shit, why aren't we teaching Buddhism and Hinduism? Why are we skipping those chapters and going to Greece and Rome and all the battles and all that stuff, you know? And it's tough. So I don't feel like I believe in what I'm teaching anymore, because that's a problem, but I believe I can get through the kids because I do teach breathing techniques and meditation techniques and stuff like that. And I'm going to teach them like the breathing through the energy centers. I'm going to call it energy centers because I don't want to say the word chakras, but, you know, like stuff like that. So I want to make an impact that way. But you're saying that I'm really not teaching anything anyway, and I'm not really saying anything anyway, and you really shouldn't even teach your kids anything. So how do I become a better teacher in my classroom then? And still get my paycheck, you know, enough to get my paycheck until I become an energy, quantum energy teacher, because that's what I really want to do.
Awesome. It's a super good and worthwhile question. I appreciate that so much. Yeah. So
I appreciate your answers and help with this. So even though I don't need you and I have all the answers in me, I just can't quite tap into them.
You can, and that's why you're manifesting the illusion of me.
Okay.
See, so it's like,
I manifested you so that you can answer the questions for me. So you're really just me answering my questions for me, and I'm you.
Yes, and the
we are one anyway, but
we are one. Yes.
But maybe is it because there's so much information coming in that I can't always tap into yours, because you have to filter out of the how many millions of bits of information comes in every millisecond, you know, that you filter out some, and I can't get it all. I can't get what Lori's thinking. I can't get what you're thinking and what I'm thinking or feeling. It's too many bits. I don't know.
Okay. So here's the thing. Here's the thing. We all, and including myself, get lost in fearful thoughts. Get lost in fearful thoughts where there's not a direct connection. There's not a direct hearing. There's not a direct hearing of guidance, let's say. So we give ourselves helpers. We give them to ourselves. It's coming, the help is coming from the kind of help you get. Let's put it this way. The kind of help you get depends on what you're asking for. What are you really asking for? What I see is the people who come to Wisdom Dialogues, they are asking for liberation. They're asking for actual liberation. Like they are done with the playing of the games.
Yes.
So,
Yes.
I am ridiculously grateful for that. I'm so ridiculously grateful for that. And you know, so it's not like you need me in that way. Let's say it this way, because it's kind of paradoxical. You need whatever it is being projected. You need that, whatever it is. It's not me, because I'm not separate from all your entire projection, right? I'm not separate from, you need me, let's say, you need me as much as you need This shower that's over here. You need me as much as you need that light that's behind me. You need me as much as you need, your jacket that you have on, let's say. It's just all part of the same. It's all part of the same. You need me as much as you need someone yelling at you, for instance.
Well, yeah, that's another question too, because like when I do have issues with my husband and I or something, we have what I think is a good relationship or whatever. You can't judge it, I guess, but it is what it is. But we definitely have our ups and downs like everybody else. And I feel like, I'm on this journey and I'm trying to improve myself, because the only person you can change is yourself, even though I guess because we are all one, when I change myself, I'm changing everybody. And as the more we all help each other rise up and get better and better and become the best we can be, we're helping the entire universe.
Yes.
But for some reason, I feel like he's stuck and feeling, like depressed or blue or frustrated or annoyed or whatever. But is that just a reflection of my feelings, and he's not going to be free of that until I am? Or if I'm up doing my thing and feel like I'm happy-go-lucky and he wakes up on the wrong side of the bed, is that really a reflection of me being grumpy? Or how do I, and I'm trying to send him love and project love to him so he can kind of get out of that funk and get back into, let's have some fun and do some art or something, So, and I don't know how to deal with that or how to make that better.
All right, I heard 2 questions coming from you. Okay, one of them was that one, and another one was about your school teaching and your other teaching on.
Yeah, sorry, I've been waiting a long time to talk to you. Yeah.
Okay, I get it. So if you will take a moment and write those 2 things down, I'd like to get to Gabriella's question because she has something along the lines of what we were just talking about. Yay, thank you. We'll table them.
I can mute myself.
Okay, go for it. Okay. So, Gabriella, Gabby, my love. So the projection stops when you allow yourself to feel. Well, not necessarily, see, because there is a lot of fear around this. It's obvious that there's a lot of fear in your mind around this. You could tell by how violent your perception becomes. There's a lot of fear around it. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to have that kind of projection with, your husband grabbing your face and cussing at you and stuff. There's a lot of fear going on there. And, you can tell that there's a lot of fear because of, both reactions. You ran crying, it's like both reactions. It's just such a fearful situation. It's just about allowing yourself to get these feeling sensation. It is not about what you say. It's not about those words. The words are completely meaningless. They have nothing to do with anything. Okay? It's all an energy at play. When you just allow yourself to feel the effects of everything you're thinking, feeling it in your body's energy field, feeling it. That's the first manifestation. Your words that are coming out of your mouth, even you're sure. What it feels like when your son goes, then can I eat Orbeez? What it feels like, okay? And then what that sure feels like. What it feels like. Watch your husband jump up and come, and what that feels like in your body's energy field. See, if you're getting the sensation of that, if you're really getting it, and you're allowing it to be completely, completely revealed to you, let's say, it's revealed to you. You get the guidance on how to go for love. It's like you retreat off of this ego train, and you get the guidance, and you're just made to speak or act in whatever way it is that extends love and calms the situation. Do you see what I'm saying? So she says, when someone out there is reflecting back to me fear, ego, separation, I just get to allow myself to feel it before I do or say anything. Now, again, you don't have a choice in whether you do or say anything. But look, if you look at the thought, something's going very fast, and it's as if you have to say something, as if you have to in your thought before that. You have to say something because they're getting it wrong. You have to say something about it because they're getting it wrong. See? You don't have to put yourself in any conflict at any time for any reason whatsoever. Here's the thing. putting yourself in conflict, putting yourself in any kind of conflict. And this all comes from thought. Once again, putting yourself in any kind of conflict, believing that you need to interject yourself into some conflict, okay? That sets you up for feeling a lot of guilt and shame. That sets you up for that, believing that, and then it's going to manifest that way. So it looks that way. Now someone's cussing at you and you're crying, and it's turning into a big scene. And then it even extends over to the sister. You say something to the sister, she gets fearful, and then you say something else. You don't really say anything, but it's an effect of thinking that you need to, underneath it, have this thought validated. The ego's like, okay, now you got to get this thought validated. This is how the ego goes. If I have this belief, then I need to get it validated. Ah, I'm so happy you're here too. Yay. How do we avoid conflict? Well, okay, that's a really good question. All the conflict comes from following a fearful thought. You're not seeing the fearful thoughts, all of the fearful thoughts, because they're hidden. They're buried. That's why you get the feeling, because when you get the feeling, then you start to see, it gets revealed to you. What are you holding against yourself? What are you holding against yourself? You're making yourself out to be an illusion in some way if you find yourself making any kind of conflict. Okay, so how do we avoid conflict? Okay, so it's not so much, avoiding is a little bit of a sticky word for me, just because it seems to associate with trying not to go there. And it's like, if conflict needs to arise, it needs to arise to show you. It's teaching. Okay, the conflict needs to arise for the teaching, but what it's showing you is the conflict that's already going on in your mind. This self-talk back and forth. Oh, my boyfriend doesn't get it. If there's an "oh, my boyfriend doesn't get it" in there, something like this is going to arise. It's not about whether the concepts are right or wrong. Something like this is going to arise. This is not how This is not how you will get the effects that you are looking for. You'll get the effects that you're looking for, but they're not the ones you're looking for. You think you're looking for something else, but really you're just looking for conflict, because there's conflict in the mind. It seems conflict is necessary for expansion. Well, conflict is necessary for recognizing what conflict you're holding in your mind. You can call that expansion too. Because whenever it's revealed to you what conflict you're holding in your mind, like for instance, my husband's not getting it. Okay. You come up with my husband's not getting it, then there's going to be some kind of thing. And this whole food does not affect the body concept is just being used by the ego now to make conflict with your husband and scare the shit out of it, whatever. Really scare the shit out of your own mind, but it gets reflected back to you by scared people. Look at all the people that get afraid of it. I've had people who, couple comments that I've received where people are really afraid. One person left me a review on my Wisdom Dialogues with Hope Johnson about how dangerous I am, and I told people that their kids should eat Orbeez or something like that. so it's like this fear mind is just putting up things. And for me, I know that any kind of fear that I perceive is also fear within my own mind. So I don't have to get fearful with it. I don't have to try to resist against it. I don't have to try to it's like, this is a blessing. I see the review come on Wisdom Dialogues about how I'm crazy and brainwashing people, and I'm like, this is a blessing. See, it's not like I have to get in an argument with a person. Well, you know what? It's this and this. Like oh. So the other day, my sister said, "Gabby, I have followed you until here, but I'm sorry I can't jump on." Yeah, see, you're going to lose people. That's the thing. Through conflict, you're going to lose them. Not lose them really, but And when there's making conflict, it's like, oh gosh, how can I trust you? All we do is make conflict with each other. I've had this experience enough to speak from experience on this one, okay? It's like you get so attached to the spiritual conflict that you're willing to use it to make, or the spiritual concept, that you're willing to use it to make conflict with people and drive them away. That's the ego speaking. Why would you want to go as deep as you're going with all this shit? Was she my own ego thoughts and being open to the wisdom? Well, there's that's one way of looking at it, and there's always, that's always part of it too. But the bigger part, let's say the bigger part that's playing out here is this conflict between people thing. Okay? Because we're in relationship. We're in relationship with one another, you can say. In a dream, we're in relationship, even though there's only one of us, okay? The whole point of our relating is extending love. That's the only way we can communicate. We cannot communicate with spiritual concepts. They're nothing without extending love. So in the moment a person is fearful and they're resisting the concepts you're giving them, it is not loving to try to push them on. It's not loving. That's a projection. That's making a projection. That's making them into an illusion now. See, when I say you're not teaching them, they're using their perception of you to teach their own mind. Okay, they're using that to teach their own mind. You're using your perception of them to teach your own mind. Now, you can also always teach yourself that they're out there and that's their problem, that they're not getting it and stuff like that. Or you can use it to recognize that's my projection. I'm projecting that. I'm projecting conflict for myself right now. And that'll clue you in to go back into your body's energy field and get the feeling effect of what conflict is like. Because conflict is what makes bodies vulnerable. Conflict does. It's not what you say, but it's that inner conflict that might make bodies that will make bodies vulnerable, and might make something like the illusion of your son actually eating an Orbeez, like make that as an illusion, and then you being held completely guilty for it by your reflections. Not that you actually are, of course, but that just to give an example, that kind of manifestation comes from conflict. It comes from conflict. That's not going to happen unless there's conflict. It's not going to appear to happen. It's never going to happen, actually. It's not going to occur to you in thought and made to look real in the manifestation. It's not going to happen if you're extending love and not engaging in conflict, okay? So it's like this engaging conflict, that's the thing. The spiritual concept is completely irrelevant. It can be dropped right now, because you know how I say nothing I say is true? I say nothing I say is true. That's because it's all an energy. You could take a high spiritual concept, think of any spiritual concept, the best one you can think of, and you can use it as a weapon. Are you going to use it as a weapon? That's where it's at. That's really where it's at. Are you going to use it as a weapon? That's the thing. It's like you're using it, and when you're using it as a weapon, you're using it to attack yourself, and because you just made conflict in your relationship, and it's not a good or bad thing. It's just for seeing, and this in the seeing, your mind learns. That's why I said I'm really glad that everything went down exactly as it did, and that's how it always is for me, that everything went down as exactly as it is, because it leads to deep and profound insights. Intensity, it leads to a deep and profound insights, okay? That's what it's for. And here's the thing, nothing happened. Nothing happened. It comes down to right now. It comes down to loving right now. And if you're loving right now, in the now moment, no one's going to get hurt. Okay? That's it. All right. So if anyone else has any questions on that, please raise your hand. Otherwise, I am back to my friend Stacy.
Hi, Hope.
Hi, my love.
Thank you. Thank you so much. the question is then, because like I said, studying the quantum physics thing, there was a paper that was published that was titled "The Universe is Immaterial," so therefore just like basically have fun.
Yeah.
So my grandpa always used to say, live it up, it's later than you think, right? Which is kind of depressing when you think about it, like it's later than you think, like you could die any minute, so like live it up. But the concept I like out of it is live it up. And I always say that, but I don't think until I saw that heading of that science paper the other day that I really got it. Like he meant it, like just have fun and live it up, because like you said, nothing's real. So eat what you want, do what you want. Sex, drugs, rock and roll. I don't know. Is that all cool? I mean, how far do you go? People, take these things too far and get into trouble or something, like become alcoholics and things like that. And I don't, nobody wants to go down that road, but it's okay to drink a bottle of wine, or it's okay to smoke some weed, or I don't know what.
Okay. That's a really good question. That's a really good question. And here it is. And here it is. You don't have a choice. That's it.
Okay.
You don't have a choice.
That's so hard to get.
So yeah, I know. That's the thing. So these kinds of questions, and the idea that you actually have a choice in it, that's what blinds people to their actual function. Because there's a function of having a physical body. There's a function of the idea of having a physical body and have it projected and have it be in physical form. And, when you're living your function, which is extending love, you're not going to find yourself even concerned. You can be completely careless about what you eat, drink, find yourself doing anything like that. And it's like people really people take that in a way that's really egoistical. That's the thing. Egotistical, I don't know what the word is. And you asked earlier, what do you eat? And it's like, It's always different. It's always different all the time. And, right now I find myself eating a lot of raw food. Like I have like raw steak with olive oil and sea salt on it a couple times a day, and a raw milkshake and stuff like that. It's like, it depends on what you think a healthy diet is, because there's all different ideas about that. But to some people, especially my raw food, primal raw enthusiasts, they're like, oh yeah, right on. That's the best healthy diet and stuff like that. And then on the other hand, I may find myself out at this local restaurant over here called Tin Shack. It's a totally awesome place. And I may find myself enjoying fully their pastrami sandwich. It's cooked. It's normal pastrami sandwich. Okay, it's just a regular pastrami sandwich. The difference between me and someone who believes in dietary conflict is I don't have any problem with the pastrami sandwich, and I don't have any thought process about how I have to get back to eating raw, because I know I'm not eating anything.
Okay, holy shit.
And I know that food has no effect on the body. I know that food really has no effect on the body. See? And I also, there's also, here's the thing. It's like food and anything else is like magic. It does a magic trick. Okay? You could tell it's a magic trick because you feel hungry. Maybe you can't tell, but I'll tell you how I tell. You feel hungry, right? And feeling hungry isn't really possible, actually. It's not possible. What I mean by that is it's projected outside the mind. It's projected to outside of the mind. What's confusing the mind is this sense of guilt, okay? So then an illusion is being projected outside of the mind, an illusion of the body. It's really impossible to feel hungry in the first place. That's an imaginary thing. It's an imagination. It's possible to feel anything, actually. So the feeling of hunger, and then you get some food, and apparently you find yourself getting food. You're not really getting food even. Your body's not moving. It's not doing anything. And then you can get another feeling, like full maybe, or satisfied, or sick, a different kind, hyper, or whatever, you can get it, you use it, you're using it to get an effect in the illusion. You're using the food to get an effect in the illusion. That's all. So, as there's awareness of what kind of effects you're getting from certain foods, of what kind of effects you're used to getting from certain foods, the thoughts just coalesce toward taking care of this through love. The thoughts just coalesce toward taking care of this. Let's call it a tool for communication.
Okay.
Thoughts just naturally coalesce like that. It's not up to you. You don't have to interfere. You don't have to interfere with it. See?
So if you're, So if you're used to, let's say, like your dairy makes your stomach sick or something, you're one of these people that say they're lactose intolerant or whatever. And so they say they're just not going to drink milk. And then, or eat ice cream or something, but they really want to eat ice cream, but they want to eat ice cream and not feel sick anymore because they want to believe that they're not really eating anything. So how does that person make that transformation to believe and know, I believe I will eat this ice cream and nothing will happen. This is no food here. So I'm going to eat it and there will be no consequence and my stomach will be fine.
Ego. That's all ego.
So how do you succeed in doing that though? How do you, as a person who's been trained that way, how do you deprogram yourself to undo that? And reprogram.
I don't even try to do that. I don't even try to do that because it's not freaking relevant. That's trying to manifest an illusion. That's trying to manifest a better illusion, and that has nothing to do with what I'm talking about. Absolutely nothing. Here's how it gets looked at. Here's how it gets looked at. The idea of I'm not going to drink milk right now, and then you look at, oh, right, that thought is as if I have a choice in it. That thought is as if I have a choice in it. The sense of find yourself. You do not have a choice whether you eat dairy. I promise you, you don't have a choice. You think you have a choice on whether you eat dairy, and then you find yourself eating dairy, and you feel very guilty about it. That's the whole purpose of that, thinking that you have a choice. Or you find yourself not eating dairy, and you feel very proud because you're keeping your body so safe and stuff. And that's the ego playing out again. This is a total distraction trying to unprogram yourself so that you can get a better illusion. No, that will bite you in the ass every time. That will kick your ass all over the place. It has nothing to do with realizing the truth behind the illusion. It has nothing to do with that. Getting a better illusion is not the purpose. That's how all the new age stuff is going. It's toward getting a better illusion. And here's the thing, people get a better illusion. I've seen this a million times. I live in a spiritual area. This is what is so stoked, it's like people will go, okay, yes, I'm manifesting this and I'm manifesting this and I'm putting my intention over here and I'm putting my intention over here. And here I am manifesting and, oh, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And then some shit hits the fan and where's the spiritual connection? Gone. Inconsolable. It's like they don't come and talk to me. I just see it go down. They don't come and talk to me. They don't want to be consolable because there's so much built up into the self-image. There's so much built up into the self-image that when something goes wrong in the manifestation, so to speak, something goes wrong, it's like a big fall. And then all of a sudden it's gloomy. It's really gloomy. I'm telling you, if there's any kind of a dangerous thought, is how do I use my mind to get a better illusion? If there's anything that is evil, that's the thought. That is an evil thought. It leads you right into temptation and hell.
This is part of what happened recently, because I was believing, all the stuff that I was saying and, coming through on my Facebook lives for those 3 months. And then, so the thoughts this week when all that shit was going down, I was like, I was such a fraud.
Uh-huh.
Oh my God, everybody's going to know I don't know what the fuck I'm talking about. Oh my
All part of the play, all part of the ego play. And you
Ah,
know what? And I wrote about that recently. Go look on the Hope Johnson author page. I wrote about that recently, about getting that feeling of, oh my God, I have been such a fraud. And I didn't use those exact words, but it's like, you've been teaching all this time, and now you can't even accept your own teaching.
yeah.
Now you
Well,
can't even accept it.
I found myself going back to my videos and going, wow, where did all that go?
Uh-huh, exactly. Exactly. Yep. But that's just part of the ego show. And it's like nothing's wrong about it. But here's the thing, what I was talking about. Yes, Josh, he said this is what's called, people are calling manifestation, as in manifest something specific for me that I want. See, that's the thing. Manifest something specific for me that I want. And that's what makes people, I've seen like well-known spiritual teachers that always like seem like, oh yeah, they got this manifestation thing down. They got this manifestation down. Oh my God. When Trump got elected, oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. You could tell there were all kinds of eggs in that basket. There were just all kinds of eggs in the basket. Oh wow. It's like all of a sudden all that spiritual stuff, everything gone, completely gone. Here's what protects you from that. You want to know? You want to know?
Yes.
It completely protects you from that. Forget about trying to manifest anything. Please. The manifestation is already working in your favor. The manifestation is not about getting what you want. Here's the paradox of it. The manifestation is always giving you what you want, because what you want is to see clearly. It's always giving you exactly what you want. I promise. And when you don't see that it's giving you exactly what you want, and you think, I need to manifest this, or you find yourself saying, I need to manifest this, get the feeling effect of that. You'll know what I'm pointing to is true. You'll know it, you'll feel it for yourself. Get the feeling effect of wanting something different than what appears to be. Just get that.
So when I obviously I hear all this about the manifesting too, but usually I think my understanding of it after, not understanding it for a long time, is that you have to feel in your body as if it has already happened. So that it already is. In other words, not like I'm going to feel like, oh, I can't wait till I have my mansion in the mountains or something like that, and I'm teaching quantum healing or something like that. It's not necessarily that. But how would I feel if I did have all that manifested would be so wonderful. But that's just to help you find the feeling, but you have to feel that way about what you have right now. So I think that's my new understanding of it, that like I should feel so grateful and elated every minute for what I already have. And that feeling of whatever I think I want in the future, or whatever I think I want to manifest, is really not relevant. My feelings should be that elated and on that high of a vibration right now for what I have right now. And the universe isn't going to give you anything else if you're not grateful for what you already have.
And okay, so there's something that could be a real sticking point for a person, because when they're looking at it as in they have these things that they don't know what they're for. You cannot be super grateful and elated for it. You can't. No one is. And in fact, the ego always wants more. Always wants more. No one will be super happy, and you can try to fake it all you want. Go ahead. Here's what you will be super happy and elated about. Here's what you will be what that manifestation is for. What it's for, not what it is. You don't know what it is, actually. Like you can like point to you swirly twirly gumdrops, for instance. You don't know what that's for. If you're grateful for that as something that's separate, if it's something that's separate as a separate thing, and you're being joyful and elated, any joy in it you brought to it. Any joy and in anything, you brought the joy to it. You brought the joy.
So you just basically live your life in joy and love, and you just project love as much as possible, and try to project that to others and share that energy and that projection of energy of love.
Well, not quite. You're getting
Like,
there.
how do you walk through your day? Like, what feelings are in you as you walk through your day? If somebody shoves in front of you at the grocery store, or if somebody says hello and gives you free Starbucks coffee or something, I don't, whatever it is, if someone does something good or bad, or what's your, they say you can either respond or you can react, and they want you to respond and have these changes in your response. And you say that doesn't matter because you don't know how you're going to respond or what's going to happen. But how do you go through your day, and what kind of, how do you think about your vibration and making sure it's at high levels, and how do you maintain that?
Okay, it doesn't matter to me what my vibration is. It could be at high levels or low levels. That doesn't matter to me. What matters to me is that I'm aware of who I am. That's all.
Which isn't the body and mind.
That's right. It's I'm before that. I'm the awareness that's before that. So, and that keeps the connection. That's what keeps the connection. So if it seems like my vibration is low, that's an illusion too. A high vibration, a low vibration, it's all an illusion. It's all an illusion. It's going to work out just fine if the connection is kept to who I am. It really is that simple. It's like, and I could sense by, you get really sensitive. Let's say you get sensitive to the energetic fluctuations in your body's energy field, not like labeling them good or bad or anything like that, but noticing when there's clenching, kind of like white knuckling in the body's energy field. Noticing it, letting compassion go there. That's symbolic of letting compassion go to the thoughts in the mind. Noticing what thoughts arise. Here's one, for instance. It seems like it's so benign, like it just doesn't do anything. I need to anything. I need to anything. You know what thought comes when that's heard? You need do nothing. Because you're not capable of doing anything. See? That's
so
how
why do we do anything then? Why don't we just sit here?
You can't help it. You don't have a choice.
We're just going to sit here and eat Oreos.
And that's
and
such,
Orbeez. No.
That's such a doing, because it's like even when you say, okay, I'm just going to sit here, it's like, it's as if you have a choice, and that's what identifies you with the doership.
Okay.
See,
it's
it's like you're just allowing yourself to be moved in whatever way. You can't help it anyways. All you could do is interfere with it, like as in resist against whatever you're perceiving yourself doing. Whatever your body is doing, whatever you seem to be saying right now, it's playing out the past. It's playing out a past scenario and thought. That's all. Everything's like deja vu.
All right.
Wait, what? Say that again. No, you've never said that before.
It was recorded, right? What part of it tripped you out?
Is that it's deja vu?
Playing out is deja vu.
Yeah, because it's a past playing out. Whatever you're saying, whatever you find yourself doing, that's not really happening. It's past thoughts playing out. It's like the scenario has already been played in your mind. You cannot perceive anything arising in the perception unless it's already been played out in secret, let's say. Without
being noticed.
Yeah, well, it could be noticed too. You start to notice it too.
Well, that's what, yeah.
See, the scenarios are being played out all the time. Like, I have to. Let's take that one. I have to, or I need to.
Or I should.
Agree with that? Yeah, or I should.
If like I have to go to work or something?
Yes, I have to, as in if you have to do something. If you agree with that thought, as in you're actually capable of doing something, you agree with that thought, as in you're not just being moved. That's what it's trying to tell you. It's like as if you're not just being moved. You know, it's like, if you agree with that thought, you know what the manifestation is going to show you? That you did have to do that and you didn't do it, or you did need to do it and you screwed it up, that you should have done that thing and you didn't do it. You know, either that or you go on the pride side. But either way, it keeps on making more manifestations. It's like you want to keep on making more manifestations and keep on extending the time it takes to realize, then agree with a thought that says you need to do something.
Well, my husband always says you don't have to do anything. So, you know, that was a big one for like 10 years ago. He said that to me and I was like, oh shit, I hate you right now. Because I said, we have to go to the Christmas party. He goes, we don't have to do anything. And I'm like, well, you know, and it was really just my feeling of obligation that we had to go to the family Christmas party or whatever that, you know, made me say that. But and then I use that as a motto in my life now. You don't have to do anything. You want to, you need to, you feel it's necessary, you feel like you're an urge to do so, then I guess you do it. But everything will happen as it should. You know, the force is with you and all is up to the force, right? Whatever the force decides is what's going to manifest, or what's going to happen, or what's going to play out.
Well, it needs to play out how it's playing out because you thought it already. You can't help it. You thought if you thought the obligation was real, then it's going to come out of your mouth. We have to do that. If you agree with the thought that says we have to do that, and then you don't do it, you're going to get guilt and shame. See?
So if I said I have to move to Hawaii and become an energy healer tomorrow, I could just make that happen and in my mind, I'm saying I have to, so I do it.
You're going back to manifestation again. You're trying to manifest something.
Okay.
Yeah. Whenever you get, and you know, that's really common because that's how a lot of the new age teachings are. Like pretty much all the ones that, you know how you can tell? All the ones that charge you. You got to pay.
Okay.
You got to pay for that spiritual teaching.
Okay.
Abraham Hicks.
You want to pay because you want to manifest just like them.
Right.
Abraham Hicks is a big one.
Yes, that's right.
All about the law.
And it's all about going to hell disguised. So
you don't believe in things that Abraham Hicks, you would disagree with Abraham Hicks and
I don't disagree with any of it. You know what? I don't disagree with any of it because it's all perfect for what people are looking for. People are finding what they're looking for. For a while, people want to make hell. They're experimenting with it. They're experimenting with it. That's one way to go. That's just one way to go. I totally don't agree or disagree with any of it, but I see it. I see it for what it is.
So when spiritual teachers say that heaven is on earth and heaven is within you, heaven is already, you know, what is it? Free your mind and your ass will follow. You know, it's Funkadelic. You know, it's the lyrics of a Funkadelic song, and then they say, you know, the kingdom of heaven is within. And then, you know, in some songs they say like you're in your own prison, you have the key to your own prison. Yeah, so they say heaven is on earth right now, but Abraham Hicks, I think the message is supposed to be the same, that heaven is on earth. I mean, this is what I hear from spiritual teachers like Wayne Dyer and things like that, or Eckhart Tolle, you know, that heaven is on earth if you want it and if you live in the now. And you're loving in the now and everything else is a story.
And that has nothing to do with manifestation. That has nothing to do with what the manifest world is presenting to you at all. At all. Because here's the thing. The manifest world is, let's say it like this. The manifest world is a denial that heaven exists. It's a denial. You know how you know? You know how you know it's a denial? Because there's death. That's a really strong indication. There's aging, there's death, there's bad breath, there's taking shits. All things that, you know, and there's no thing in heaven. We can't really conceptualize what heaven is. Let me give you kind of a little pointer here. What's going on here? There's awareness. And there's the mind's reality. Let's call it the mind's reality because it's creation. Here they are. Awareness, creation. Awareness, creation. This is the mind's reality. Awareness is aware of creation. What happens? What happens when there's confusion? what happens when there's confusion? There is a projection. There's a projection. It's like it's interposed, superimposed between awareness and the mind's reality. There's a projection of a physical world. It's like superimposed here. The trick of the ego is to get you to identify with the projection as reality. When you identify with the projection of as reality, what are you going to want to do? You're going to want to use your beautiful, innocent, pristine mind to try to make this false reality better. That is mental imprisonment. That is mental imprisonment. It's never going to work. It's never going to work. Okay? You know why? Because all of these manifest things, they lead to their opposite. They all lead to their opposite. Always comes back to the opposite again. Oh, I got this thing. I got all this money. Oh, this makes me so happy. Oh, but if I lose all the money, then what? Then where did my spirituality go? See? Now the illusion is going to set it up. The illusion is going to set it up. That's the way it goes. That's the way it goes. If you're excited about this one thing, you know what? That's going to be taken away. Because it's being pulled out as something that's sacred in the illusion. This makes money like something sacred in the illusion. I should have it. I should have more of it. It does not matter. It doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean anything. This is all manifesting is totally meaningless in light of, and no one's really manifesting. That's another thing. They think they are. They think they're making a choice that they want to manifest this thing. But really, what they're making a choice for is they're making a choice for illusion over the truth. That's the choice that's being made. It's not for one thing or another. It's not for a blue Lamborghini or a red SUV, you know. It's not a choice between rich or poor. It's not a choice between less money or more money. It's not like that. It always comes down to a choice between truth or illusion. So if you think you're making a choice, you think you're making a choice to manifest. You have no choice in that. That's only arising because of your choice to make illusions true. Because you're choosing to make illusions true. That's the choice. That's a choice that's being made. Making illusions true, or recognizing only the truth. Recognizing only the truth. And it's such a big distraction, this manifest world. It's such a big distraction. It's like there's making this manifest world real and then having conflict with it. And that's what trying to manifest something in the world is too. It's like making it real so that you can have conflict with it really. And there's all these spiritual teachings right now and all throughout, it's always been about getting more for myself, more for myself, more for myself. And, it's not like it's a bad thing at all. In fact, when I was first clued in or, starting to get tuned in, one of the very first things someone gave me was an Abraham Hicks CD. Yeah. There's a lot of truth in it. There's a lot of truth in it. It's just that if it's not all truth, then it's all a lie. That's just the way it goes. But there were parts of it that were like, I was going, I know this. Oh my goodness, I know this stuff. So there's always, there's some parts in it that are like a teaching, being used as a teaching tool. So, for people who are sincere and they're sincerely going, okay, you know what? I am just done. I don't mind what happens in this world. I'm done with playing this. I'm done with playing this worldly thing. I'm just ready for the truth. I'm just ready for the truth. That's enough. I've had enough suffering. And this comes through suffering. So it's perfect that everyone's getting on the thing where they want to manifest and stuff like that, because they're going to manifest through the idea of manifestation, through the idea that they're making these manifestations, they're making some intense suffering. That's what's going on. And it's because of the self-identity involved in that. Wherever there's a building up of self-identity, their suffering follows. See? So it's not a matter, like if you feel like going down the manifestation route, you completely have my blessing. And I'm guessing that if you're on Wisdom Dialogues, given what I've seen before, if you're on, and how I feel about you, If you're on Wisdom Dialogues, I'm guessing that even if it's not right now, if you're hearing this, even if it's not right now, there is something in you. You have made a choice, however weak it may be right now. You have made a choice that you want the truth. You do not want to manifest. You do not want to manifest more time, because that's what manifestation does. It manifests more time.
So what is the truth then? When you say you want the truth, what is that truth? That nothing is real and it's all an illusion, and just go with the flow because you have no choice anyway. So just ride that pony and live it up.
It's the truth is who you are. The truth is who you
Be
are.
authentic.
I can tell you that.
Is that authenticity? How do you feel about the whole authenticity versus attachment? Like that, our authenticity is threatened by attachment, and really to be authentic means to be your true self and not worry about judgment from anyone else. So just be authentic and still be secure with your.
Well, that's still being something.
Okay, so just don't.
Okay, so it's like you. Once you've made a choice that you want the truth, you want it, you're going to get the pointers there. I can't give it to you. I can't like tell you in words. Remember I said, nothing I say is true. There's a reason for that. I can't say.
How are you going to tell me the truth if nothing you say is true? Wait a minute.
Exactly. I cannot say what the truth is, but here's how you get, here's how you get to it. Here's how you get to it for yourself. This is an individualized experience that arises. Is how you get to it for yourself is you make a point of recognizing everything that denies you, everything that denies your innocence, everything that denies that you're divine. Make it a point to, let those blocks be removed. Anything that makes conflict. That's one of the most efficient. That's the word. Efficient ways of seeing through is look at the conflict within the thoughts. Get the feeling effect of that thought. The idea that someone wronged you. The idea that someone could go wrong. In Lori's case, she's been talking about like, what if I go broke? What if I can't make it and stuff like that? There it is. Get the feeling effect of that. That's a projection. You'll start to realize, oh, I made this for myself and I'm happy about it. I made this for myself and I'm happy about it. I love my manifestation because it's showing me what I'm holding against myself. It's helping me to it's helping me to give up. It's helping me to give up, let go of trying to make my own way, make my own life. You're not going to be able to do that anyways. You're being moved like a puppet. So what I'm sharing here on Wisdom Dialogues is a lot of just showing you how you're holding yourself apart so that you can get it's like a revelation from God. It's like a revelation from God when it comes. And that's why you can't really get it from, your perception of another person. You can't really get it from the perception of another person. It's not like that. But you can use your perception of other people for seeing what you're holding against yourself. If that relating isn't loving and kind and generous and giving and caring, that's what you're holding against yourself. And that's all in thought. It's all in thought. Watch what goes on. Just start a little bit. Watch what goes on in the shower. I
do this all the time because Christine said to, drop into the feeling, always talk about go to the feeling. So she says to drop into the feeling, and then you thank the feeling and you say, thank you for showing me this. I love you. I hear you. I see you, and treat yourself gently like a child, that little 5-year-old you're talking to and comforting in your lap. That's yourself when you're a child, and tell yourself lovingly, thank you, and I hear you. But even though sometimes when something really bad happens or something that I perceive as bad and it really hurts my feelings, somebody calls me something or says something about me that is insulting, I feel like, let's say, not that happens often, but if it does, then I'm supposed to go into that feeling. But sometimes it's like, all right, thank you, feeling. I'm so excited and happy that you're showing me something. I love you. And you're really like, I hate you. And I hate your universe. And I'm so pissed at you. And you're screaming and you're crying and you're
that
pissed.
feeling. Get that feeling.
And then you get in that feeling and you squeeze it and you try to think it, even though you're yelling at it. Is that okay? I mean, I don't know. Is that what you're supposed to do? Is that supposed to do? Just feel everything and try to really go into the feelings all the time. Just go into the feelings.
Well, okay. So that's where people get caught up sometimes too, I notice.
Okay.
So, you're not supposed to do anything. You're not supposed to do anything. So just even I'm supposed to, and that, oh, thank you. And oh, I not really, thank you. Get that feeling. Get that feeling. Look, they're passing really fast and changing into something else. They're passing into changing into something else. So that one that doesn't want to be grateful, it's like, there's gratitude behind that. Get back, it's almost like you detach yourself from these voices that are arising. Oh, thank you. No, not thank you. Oh, thank you. No, not thank you. You are not in the illusion. You've projected yourself as like as like an object in the illusion now that's subject to these different voices. Let those voices just play out. Let those voices and feelings and everything just play out. When you're aware, you can be aware of yourself. If you're not aware of who you are, ask, let me see. Okay, because then you're, when you're lost, you need to ask for help, right? Like you get lost. It's almost like you lost your way, you lost your direction. When you're lost, ask for help. This idea of trying to do it yourself when you're lost, when you've made yourself, you've projected yourself as an illusion within the illusion. Now you've projected yourself as an object, and as that object, you cannot get yourself out of it. Because now you've made yourself this object. So yes, there's value and benefit to going into the feelings and getting the feeling effect of it. But then that becomes conceptual too. And then it's like, oh, now you're in an argument with yourself and thinking that you're feeling the feeling, but really you're covering up another feeling, because you're not just letting this argument be seen from a higher perspective. And if it's not, and if, you can't detach yourself of like, pull back and get like an overview of it. Can't get an overview of this and see it playing out in front of you, projected from your mind, playing out in your awareness like that. If you can't see it, ask for help. Even let me see. Lori found herself, and don't worry how long you're going through it. The goal is not to get out of it. The goal, if there were to be any goal, is to know who you are within it, letting it, because then it's not, really it's not touching you. It's not affecting you in any way, shape, or form. It's not even affecting you. It's not even if you just think it is. Mm-hmm. Thinking makes that so. So it's like, what you're looking for is that detachment. And if you're not getting that detachment right away, gratitude. And when I say gratitude, even when there's something in your perception that's going, no, fuck this. Gratitude for that. See? Gratitude for that. I was telling one of my friends the other day, she tells me about these thoughts that she has where she says that she hates people with certain skin color. And I go, do you have gratitude for that? I hate that about myself. I go, I know that's the thing. I know that's the worldly thing, to hate on everything. I know that's a worldly thing. And, you're kind of like bad if you don't hate yourself for hating people of a different color. Or, the funny thing, it was her same color. But so anyways, really fun. It doesn't matter either way. It really doesn't matter either way. It could be like, I hate those freaking whatever. So it doesn't really matter. It's like, are you allowing compassion for that? Is there gratitude for that? See, you can always go back to who you are. You can always retreat back to who you are. And it's kind of thought by thought. So a thought comes in and it's like, you just are not identifying with it. If you find yourself identifying with a thought, let me see. And then patience, because however long, whatever amount of time, and let me tell you, the time's going to go easier and faster as you're willing to relax with whatever's arising. The amount of time that it takes is perfectly arranged for seeing. Perfectly. So it's all a benefit. And that's what our show was called last week. It's all a benefit. That's what it's for. Okay.
Yeah, you started to say something about going in the shower.
Yes. In the shower, when you're in the shower or a bath or whatever, just because, you're not really doing anything in the shower, or you don't perceive yourself to be doing anything. So your mind's not tripped out as in, what am I doing? What am I doing? Shower's pretty mundane,
Yeah. Driving.
Or you can say the car, driving too.
Driving's another.
Just watch what arises. Watch all the attacks, watch the attacks. Don't cover them up. Don't cover them up with an airy-fairy thought. It's one of your new age airy-fairy manifestation thoughts. Don't cover that up. Look, that chick's a fucking bitch. Okay? Get the feeling effect of it. It's talking about you. You haven't done anything wrong. You don't think. That thought is just occurring to you. It's occurring to you. It's occurring to you because you get interested in thoughts like that. Either you hate on yourself for it, or you believe that she actually is a bitch.
Yeah.
Okay? So that's your getting interested and you get excited about that. You're like, yeah, I love that thought. I want to follow it. See, it's way different if it's like, oh, that fucker, and you get the detachment. You can make a point of that in the shower, in the car, or whatever. It's like you're gonna get that detachment. You're gonna get that. Oh, okay, I'm projecting that right now. And you'll start to see it more and more and more, like any kind of victimization. I noticed something, like we have an essential oil company. We work with Miracle Botanicals. I start to notice some projections going for Amazon, and it's like immediately my attention goes into how it feels to be projecting about Amazon, which doesn't exist. It seems like there's some giant that is manipulative and stuff like that. And I know, and I'm like so happy that I get to see that because I know I'm projecting it. And then it comes in, and for me, it just comes back to being to peace. Oh, thank goodness I made that up. There's nothing, none of this is happening. None of this is happening. When you try to make it better, it extends time. When you don't try to make it better and you're actually using it for extending love to yourself, you're shortening time. You're shortening the time it takes to find yourself back in heaven, to find your mind restored to sanity. It's like, do you want a sane mind or do you want a manifestation? What do you want?
I'll take the sanity.
Exactly. Well, that's the thing. It's like, and the way the ego looks at it, like it's a sacrifice to give up manifestation. But it's not a sacrifice at all, because as your mind becomes more sane, the manifestation naturally follows suit. Because everything, it doesn't matter. It won't matter to you what you have or what you find yourself doing or anything like that. What makes it all so sweet is how peaceful.
Yeah.
How loving and peaceful. And it doesn't matter what kind of manifestation arises, you are at peace with it. It's not like I'm at peace because this manifestation is peaceful. The manifestation is completely neutral. The manifestation is neutral, and you're at peace with it because the manifestation is there to serve you.
Or you're at peace with it because the mind isn't judging it as good or bad or right or wrong. Or what.
Yeah. There's not all this chitter chatter.
Right.
Okay, so what do I have here? I have a bunch of questions. She is a client. Oh yeah, she's a client. Okay, I don't know. These aren't questions.
No, Christine.
Lori having a combo with Christine. Right on. I love it. Okay, so I have Bob. I'm not going to get to yours today, my love. We can bring that into the in-person, or we can hit it next week, however that works out. I did have one that came across much earlier. It was like right after the last one, and I would like to get to that one today. Lori had one about the whole world becoming sacred. Lori, how are you on that one now? Let's read it. The whole world becomes sacred when it's used for restoring the mind's true reality. I think that's what we were just talking about.
Yeah, actually.
The whole world becomes sacrilege when any part is separated out and deemed sacred or sacrilege on its own. That's like manifesting. Because that holds you out as something that can be threatened while giving power to things that seem to threaten you. like not getting your manifestation. The
Mhm.
world is innocent and neutral. You decide whether it's used for self-exaltation or self-desecration. I love how that rhymed. That was just fun. Oh, thank you, Stacy. I love you. Thank you for coming on.
Thank you. Thank you so much for having this and doing this. Is wonderful.
Oh, it's my pleasure. It's my pleasure. I meet the most amazing people. Thank you. Okay, so here's one. Here's something that I posted. The most ungrounding thought is the one about the illusory world being real. It makes you project images of unfairness, destruction, anger, and pain, and then resist against those things as if they didn't just come from you. That was a super fun thing to write and feel. So, so someone asked me, is there another way of moving, seeing it's all a projection, not taking it as real, but still be moved, maybe in a whole new way, to be in service to yourself as yourself? Yes, and that's what occurs. That's what occurs. Being in service to yourself as yourself is extending love. It is extending love. It's where you take a pattern of conflict, a pattern of conflict. You see a pattern of conflict arising in your mind, in the manifestation, which is really the same thing. You see a pattern of conflict arising, and you allow healing for that. You allow healing for that. That is being in service to yourself and others. And you will be moved to move in a glorious way and be loving and share love, and it'll be beautiful. You can't help it. You can't help it. The manifestation is just following the thinking. I see this coming up for me. Oh, let me just put this in here. When I say the manifestation is following the thinking, I said earlier that your attack thoughts have no effect unless you let them have an effect, okay? So these attack thoughts, you find yourself following, oh, she's such a bitch, and you start going off like that. As soon as you recognize that chain of thought, you can accept full forgiveness right now, as in it didn't happen.
Awesome.
No effect. Did not happen. You hear what I'm saying? No effect, because it's only right now where you give that power. If you find yourself in projection mode, and then you guilt yourself about it and believe it has power, and now you have to see the manifestation of that, you are right.
Oh.
Okay.
Oh. That's what that was part of the pain this week, is that, oh my God, I'm thinking when we get on the road, we're going to have flat tires, we're going to have leaky chairs, and then there was guilt, and oh my God, I got to stop this because that's what's going to happen.
Yeah. When you accept the forgiveness, it extends all time. Forgiveness is basically, it didn't happen. I was not just projecting like that. That's a dream right now. It has no effect. It has no effect. Okay? You make it so if you think that it does have an effect. And then look, watch this. This is really fun too. So in the manifestation, you see something arise that you think you don't want, and then you say, "Oh, it's because I thought that before."
Yeah.
No before. In this instance, that's just being projected right now. It's being projected right now. And why is it being projected right now? So you could see through it, not so that you could pretend that there's a past and a cause and effect like that.
Ooh.
Okay?
Wow.
It's a guilty self-concept projecting right now in this moment, and it's for seeing through in this moment. It's not for making the illusion real. You don't have to do that. You don't have to do that. Okay?
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yay. Thank you for making me say it. I love it too. Okay. Is there not? Okay. I see this coming up for me. Yay. In different ways. Conflicting feelings. On the one hand, not making the world real. Taking it all on the inside. And then on the other hand, not stopping what wants to come through by spiritual concepts that say there is no world. And then not stopping what wants to come through. Okay, let me read this again. Make sure I see where she's coming from. I see this conflicted feeling. On one hand, not making the world real. And then on the other hand, not stopping. You don't have a choice in that. It's okay. Look it. There's one choice between two things. Truth, illusion. Truth, illusion. Truth, illusion. That's it. You don't have a choice in whether some spiritual concepts come through you. You have a choice in agreeing with the thought that says you should let spiritual concepts come through you. You have a choice in agreeing with any shoulds. Don't you trust that the Spirit is going to move you in whatever way you need when you choose truth, when you choose love, when you choose being? Don't you trust that the Spirit is, I know you do. I know you do. And then there's these concepts that arise that just get identified with. That's you, When you choose who you are over the illusion of everything that you're not, you're just going to be moved in whatever way you need. There's nothing else to it. You're going to be moved. Okay, Gabby, I love you. Thank you for coming. Let the ego tricks me in the future like it did with the Orbeez, and then I remember I can't get... Yay, yay. I love you, Gabby. You're awesome. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. The world might not be real, but still it's appearing. Okay, is it really? I'm not even going to go with that one. It's occurring to you. It's like these currents of thought. It's occurring. I like that word occurring because it reminds me of currents of thought. And making forms out of themselves. And if it's in me, wouldn't I be moved to act when I see insanity in myself? Well, the only action, again, is the choice between truth and illusion. You see it come up in a lot of different ways. And you can see on Wisdom Dialogues where we talk about it coming up in all these different ways. It's like this what is one of those? A kaleidoscope. Is that what it's called? Where you shoot the light through and it goes in all these different things like that. Yeah. It's like it's coming up in all these different ways to try to trick. That's why the ego is called the trickster. Okay? But ultimately it comes down to truth or illusion. Truth or illusion. You can be completely careless about what your actions are when you're choosing truth over illusion. Okay? If you're choosing illusion, if you're making illusions real, then you're going to be made to try to manipulate your actions. You won't even be able to help it. You don't want to be able to help that. That's how you know you're making the illusion real. I know I'm making the illusion real if I am not laughing at a thought that says I need to do something. If the thought arises for me and says I need to do something, there's a little chuckle that goes on. If there's not a little chuckle that goes on, I'm making the illusion true. Okay? Yes. Question makes all kinds of...
Oh, sorry. I forgot to mute. I should have muted.
No, there's no should. It was a perfect...
That's right. No, forget the should. It happened for a reason, just like it should. It happened the way it was supposed to, right? Shouldas or shits. That's my old 6th grade teacher used to always say shouldas or shits. And she didn't say that in 6th grade. She said it after when I was adult. But shouldas or shits. So I don't know. Yeah.
Okay, so that was awesome. So let me just take a peek at Bob's because I can go a little bit longer today. I know I'm pretty fired up. Anyone who wants to leave, no problem. You got enough. That's all good. If you need to leave. So where was Bob's? Let me see if I can.
Plus it's recorded.
And you can watch it later. No problem with going to sleep or going on a date or whatever it is you got going on. Some people are just joining. So,
watch it again. You need to watch it again 2 or 3 times. Some
people are joining right now. So you can go off and come back on. I don't know, go run an errand, come back. It goes on for a while. Okay, so now I'm looking for Bob. Oh, I know where he put it. He put it in I have all these groups and pages and stuff. It's so fun. All right, so then there's this wisdom dialogues online. That's where you put it. All right, Bob, let's see what's going on. It's so long, so long. All right. Disappearance of the Universe. That's a book, okay? Is this erroneous mortal universe meant to be totally transcended and discarded because it cannot have been God meant to be? It just isn't real. It just isn't real. It's going to be seen for what it is. That's all. That's all there is to it. It's going to be seen for what it is. It's already healed. It's already like you could say it's already happened. It's already happened, even though nothing happens. Just hasn't occurred to us yet. Or are we meant to evolve as the gods of this universe and manifest the wisdom and love? Well, it's kind of like we are the I'm reluctant to say the word gods, but we are the royalty. Let's say royalty, because there's only one of us. There's only one of us. And in illusions, it looks like there's more, so that's how you get gods plural. But there's only one of us, So yeah, we're meant to be royalty, and we actually are, even though we don't notice it, we don't realize it in illusions. But we are that, and our creation is still held for us. We are still royalty in reality. It's just that we're not perceiving reality. So this one, are we meant to evolve as gods? You don't evolve as anything. All you evolve as is illusion. That evolving is an illusion. Evolving is in the illusion. You actually are that. It's just it's a recognition, okay? Man is unfinished and must be surpassed or completed. I don't know what that means. There's no, my meat is to the will. Okay, maybe we'll talk about this in person. That way you can tell me what you're getting at on all that stuff. Okay, let's see if I have any more hands. I think I do.
Think you do.
Yes, I do.
You do.
Thomas, my love.
Yeah, aloha.
Aloha. Would you like to come on camera, or are you good with voice?
I'm fine with voice.
Okay. You have a
So-
lovely voice.
Isn't this fun?
It's so fun.
Yeah, I want to make a comment on something, because when you say that we don't have a choice, it gets confusing, and I feel like I needed to simplify it. So here's what I think.
Okay.
If I think I have a choice, I am making the illusion real. So instead of choosing, isn't it better to say I am dancing with the illusion, always looking for truth? And truth shows up when I'm not invested in the dream.
Yes. Truth
Yeah.
shows up. Truth shows up when you're willing to regard illusions as such.
Right. Right. So not choosing leaves room for truth to show up.
For
'Cause when
sure.
I'm bu- yeah. Yeah.
And you
when
don't
I'm-
have a choice in whether you make an apparent choice.
Exactly. So if I'm busy choosing and trying to manifest, I'm not leaving room for choice, for truth to show up.
Yes.
Yeah.
And your
Right.
guidance, you have an inner guide that's always guiding you toward what's the truth.
Mm-hmm.
You can't hear your guidance when you're focused on yourself as an illusion.
Exactly.
Something
And
that's
so-
responsible for your own life, for making your own choices and stuff like that.
Right. And I hear in the wisdom dialogues, everyone's wanting to make life better and manifest more. And that whole busyness is what keeps truth out, really.
Yes, and the manifestation, even the manifestation itself, it goes so much easier and so much happier when there's not this trying to manifest and thinking that you know what you want. It's so delusional.
Right. Right. Yeah. And, I also want to make a comment on this going into our feelings, because I've been studying that currently.
Yeah.
And for me, going into the feeling takes me out of my head and into my body. And I also, at that point, after I stay in that for a while, I connect it to what might be my woundings around it. And then I can let it go, knowing a little bit more about my illusory self, and also able to allow my real identity to come forward with that practice.
Yes, because it's being revealed. It's what you've been holding in secret by covering up the feeling. Now it's getting revealed.
Mm-hmm.
See?
Yeah, it's like you're bringing it to source by getting out of the head for me. It's like, yeah, I'm actually getting out of the head, so it has a chance to,
Yes.
yeah. And then when I connect it to my woundings, I feel humble, and I feel, grateful, that I can be with God, and I can have that moment.
Yes.
That humility somehow is really helpful for me lately.
Yes. I hear you. I feel you. I appreciate that, Thomas.
Mm,
That's a
thank you.
beautiful testimony.
Yeah, it's been a new exercise. Actually, you started it off, and other teachers too, and I'm really doing it really every day, and I'm seeing the value of it. So I really wanted to comment on that. Thank
Yeah.
you for allowing that. Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Thank you.
Can I ask, Thomas,
Hmm.
what do you mean linking was it your emotions to it?
So I take the feeling, and what I do, because of my men's group, I take that feeling and I really feel it, and then I give it a color so I can really stay with it even longer. And so now I'm like super drenched in it. And then at that point, I look at what it might be connected to in like my old self, my wounded self. And then there's like this humility that comes over that allows me to connect with God. And then I can let it go, because now it makes sense to let it go, because now I'm not doing it on my own anymore. Does that make
Wow.
sense?
I think so.
I didn't know what to do with it for a while. I would go into my feelings. I didn't know what to do with it. So I started to find, as I'm reading and doing more work around it, that if I can connect it to my wounds, my childhood kind of stuff, the stuff that makes me me, that gives me a chance to let it go in more specifically, more particulars.
Because
And
it's
that,
seen.
yeah, go ahead.
It's because it's revealed. Now it's not hidden anymore.
Yes, exactly.
Right.
Exactly. Because I get this image that there's this closet. I keep trying to shove everything in, and there's no more room in the closet. I can't even close the door. I can't lock it anymore. And all this stuff is coming tumbling out. So now I'm just taking them piece by piece and owning them by using the feelings and diving into it that way. It's been quite an experience
That's
this last week.
cool.
Yeah.
Thank you, Thomas.
Yes,
Mhm.
thank you, Thomas.
Thank you, wisdom dialoguers.
All right. Talk soon. Aloha.
All right, aloha to you.
Yay. Okay, so there's a couple more going on here. Stacy, I have you on mute. Just like write to me or something if you want to come back on, okay? Okay, here's someone, Lori, but it's not Lori Tibitot. It's another Lori. I'm new to satsang. Of late, I am in a state of what I call the Chinese finger trap. Whatever conflict, fear, disapproval, disdain, etc., that arises about the other is always the very thing I am myself doing. So a projection. Yay, it's so good to see that. And so frustrating. Yeah, it's frustrating. Yes, it's so good to see that. Then it falls away for a while. Can you go over the essence of the wisdom pointers? I am having trouble with it sinking in. I will listen. I want everyone to get a chance. Oh, thank you. Such a love. Okay, so for a while, can you go over the essence of the wisdom pointers? I am having trouble with sinking in. Okay, so I'm not sure exactly what you're asking for right there, but if you want to talk to me, you can raise your hand. Conflict, fear about the other is always the thing I am myself doing. Okay, so it's always a self-belief. It's always a self-attack. When you find yourself attacking a person, that's always a self-attack. There's no one out there. Yes, it's a projection. And the frustration is also a gift. And then it falls away. And then you say, for a while. Okay, so it'll keep on coming back up again until you can laugh with it. Okay, because the whole thing that is upholding this illusion is that there was a guilty thought and we forgot to laugh. Okay, so it's going to end in laughter. It's going to end in laughter, and it's going to keep on coming up until it ends in laughter. That's all. And then there won't be any more frustration or anything. You probably won't even notice it again. And if you do, it's just some more laughter. So it doesn't matter, and then you don't really have a question about it anyways, okay? As long as you have a question about it, you're not laughing. Isn't that fun? All right. So here's another one. And let me know if I can clarify that at all. There is one belief trauma I have that I've not been able to let go of because I seem to believe it protects me. Yes, that is so common, so common. I saw it coming up in myself this week too. So that's perfect. And that's when I spot a distortion, blind spot in a teacher, and that teacher is not open to see it. I feel extremely unsafe, and I can't trust that person anymore. I see that this is a block in me, but I'm not sure how to flip it. If you want to talk with me, oh, they do. Okay. Aloha, my love.
Hello.
Oh, yay. Can you tell me how to pronounce your name?
Well, I'm fine with Vider, but like it's actually Vider.
Oh, Vidir. Oh, that sounds
Yeah.
so nice, and I love the way that the tongue works with that. Virer.
Yeah, well, you're really good. Most people,
Oh.
never get it.
Yay. So you want to tell me about this?
Yeah, it's just something that it keeps coming up. Like if there's always this point where something happens with a teacher, and I feel pretty clear that I'm seeing a blind spot, and this blind spot, I think it also has to be somehow relevant to a wounding in me. I guess I wouldn't care so much if it wasn't something that makes me feel unsafe, and that of course come back to me that I don't trust myself in this situation, like with that.
Sure.
But since the teacher that I'm, the kind of whole relationship is about me being able to be kind of vulnerable about where I don't trust myself.
Uh-huh.
And but this keeps coming up, and I just I always end up just going, just either leaving or raising the middle finger and leaving, or I don't know, different times of dramatics, but and it's coming up once again now, and I'm just not sure like how to deal with this within myself, because it feels unsafe to continue to engage without addressing it. And
what feels unsafe?
I guess it feels unsafe to trust the wisdom of that person.
Oh, well, that's never safe. That's like making illusions true. Your guidance is coming from within you. The person that you perceive is projected from your own mind. The person that you perceive is projected from your own mind. So there's no need to put it over onto them. You could be moved to go from one teacher to the other, from one teacher to the other. It doesn't matter. That's just all what needs to occur, let's say, for your learning. Let's say that it all needs to occur, and it's all occurring perfectly. It's not something to judge yourself for. And when you're feeling as if they've got it wrong, and this is anyone, teacher or not, anyone. If you feel as if they got it wrong, just remember, you are projecting that. And you will still be moved away and toward different people all the time. Whether or not you recognize that you're projecting it, it's always going to be for your best interest. So I like how you said you seem to believe it protects me, because then when you can see them as having something wrong, as having a blind spot or something like that, when you can see that, then you will be moved. But you know what? It's like any blind spot that you see, any blind spot that you perceive, it's not really there. You're not actually seeing them as they are. We're not seeing each other as we are. We're seeing a perception. We're just seeing a perception. But you know what? You may be moved to different teachers and different teachers. There's no problem with that. You don't have to try to protect yourself when that goes down, because when you're choosing truth over illusion, and even when you're not, everything's coming together for your learning. It's just going to go way easier and smoother when you're choosing the truth. That means you're choosing to recognize that you're projecting that teacher. You're making that teacher up. And what are you going to use it for? Are you going to use it to make illusions true? Or are you going to find the truth? And that's like you know, you could say, are you going to bring your illusions to the truth? You know, are you going to bring your illusion? Are you going to use that perception to bring your illusions to the truth? And you just get the feeling effect of that. But notice that nothing is wrong. Nothing's wrong with changing either. Just letting it flow. Nothing's wrong with moving on. You don't have any control about that.
No, okay. So, but I guess like, so, you know, what I'm sensing is that, okay, so there is some pain here in me, and I guess a better way maybe to say it is that I'm wanting to approach that pain, and there's something about this illusion that I have a hard time accessing this pain and resolving it, and I guess I have the idea that it has to happen with the other one, but that's of course not true.
Right. Yeah. It's, you know, whatever the pain is, there's some strong defensiveness against it, and that defensiveness is the thought that it's hard.
That is hard.
Yes. So it's hard as a thought. As hard as a thought, and then it's hard. It's hard is also associated with a feeling. So when it seems to you that it's hard to undo this, that it's hard to see it and stuff like that, that is in itself the block. That it's hard.
Right.
It's self-doubt. I can't get this because of this or something.
Yeah, that's already like a pretty firm outer boundary of not accessing it. Yeah.
That's right. Anyone who says I can't get this, that is the block.
Yeah.
So if you're saying that to yourself, anyone listening, if you're saying that to yourself, laugh. It's funny.
Yeah. Yeah, it was nice that you said that before about the guilt. That was really nice.
Yeah, and you know what? It's not like you have any choice in what's arising for you as far as what thoughts are taking place, but you do have a choice. You know, that thought that tells you it's hard, you do have a choice to laugh. You know, it's like that's the choice. That when you choose truth, it's laughing. It's laughter at what you thought was real. It's like laughter. Then anything can come. You have an open space for any thought, anything to come, because it just meets you as the truth. And that's fun. That's what makes it fun. You don't have any blocks. You just have a thought that says, I have a block, and then it gets believed. Thank you. People are going to bed now. I love you, everyone who's going to bed.
Thank you, everybody.
Good night.
Thank you so much.
Good night.
Good night. It's great to meet you guys and talk to you.
Here, I'm ready to party.
I know. Jeez. My husband's upstairs pacing around. Where is she? What is she doing? All right. Thank you guys. Have a great night. Hopefully I'll see you next week.
Aloha.
All right. Aloha. Love you. Bye.
Love you. Thank you, B-Dear.
Thank you.
Yeah. Until next week. I love you. Thank you. Come back again.
Thank you. I just might.
Unless you get moved to another spiritual teacher, that's all good too.
Well, you're okay still, you know.
So far, I'm kind of making it. All right. I'll watch myself.
Yeah, you better.
I love you. Thank you. Wisdom Dialogues every Tuesday, 3 p.m. Hawaii time. Except for Tuesday, August 13th, when I will be in Sedona, Arizona, doing a luncheon on my new book, Unschooling for Parents, book signing luncheon in Sedona, Arizona. I don't know if I'm making a formal invitation, but if you want to go, you just send me a message, and I'll send the person who was organizing it a message and get the info or something. Okay. I'm also doing 3 other events now, 3 other events in Sedona, Arizona. I'm there from I'm doing events are the 13th, 14th, 15th. Actually, it's the 14th I'm doing that luncheon. The 13th, I don't know. It's all, forget about it, right? I don't know what it is right now. There's stuff going on in Sedona. I'm going to miss one wisdom dialogue as far as I know. But I think I'm still going to come to you from Orange County, California, and then from Las Vegas, Nevada, just because it's fun. But we'll see. I have to play it by ear because I'm traveling in the first 3 weeks of August, okay? My book, Unschooling for Parents. Go to hopejohnson.org and you'll see it super soon. In fact, go to hopejohnson.org and sign up for my newsletter. It's awesome. All right? Check out my newsletter. You can check it. There you'll see links for my company, Miracle Botanicals, in case you want to do the most amazing essential oils in the world. Then that's where you go. And then also, if you would like to donate, you can donate on my page now. It is hopejohnson.org. There's a donate thing. If you feel like donating, what do I do with your donations? I use them for traveling so I could speak with people, and there's no charge, of course. And then also it's just being available. Books. I send books to people when they're like, I really want your book, but I really feel like I can't afford it, or I have to wait for my birthday or something like that. I'm like, give me your address. You're getting a book. So it goes toward helping stuff like that. It's not for like supporting my family or anything like that. I use all the money for spreading wisdom dialogues. If I get a whole bunch of it, then there's going to be something that goes down, like maybe a place where people can come and they can stay whether they can pay or not. And if there's enough of that kind of support, it's just no charge and it's all just support. That would be really fine too. Also, it could pay for stuff like advertising, getting this word out more. Whatever's fun. But you know what? It doesn't matter too. So it's like, if you feel in your heart something like, oh yeah, I feel like giving to this, go ahead. If you don't, everything is awesome. Yay. Nothing needs to happen because nothing's happening. And I love you. Thank you, Yulia. Thank you for setting me on fire again. I love you.
Yeah. Thank you, mahalo.
Everyone, mahalo, aloha, and a hui ho. Yeah, baby.